I'm Antony, and we are from Team Rapture 12. And we've chosen the problem statement user and entity behavior analytics for internal threat identification. So, generally, when it comes to threat, we look for external threat actors who we expect hackers to perform social engineering attacks or exploit vulnerabilities or perform DDoS attacks. But we completely forget about the fact that there might be someone among us who might have a malicious intent and perform espionage. I mean, why should an external person break into an organization when a person, an employee who have access to sensitive data can give it up himself? So our goal is to reduce this risk and minimize it. And that's exactly where a quantum enhanced insider threat detection module comes into play. So generally, 60% of the breach involves insider and it's very hard to detect such incidents. So we have decided to build this module. So here we are using a behavioral DNA. So what we do is we analyze your behavior A to Z, like what site you visit, how much your keystroke, what's your typing speed, and everything. And we create a behavioral DNA for you. And if you have malicious intent, if your behavior obviously change. So using quantum enhanced models, we'll be able to detect the temporal change and flag it. So I'll explain to, it'd be better if I explain to the DFT about how this module works. So yeah, firstly, we have the user over here, and these are the data endpoints. We collect the keystrokes, like what key you're typing, what is your frequency, what's your typing habits, and what's your typing speed, and information like that. And also your mouse clicks, the frequency of mouse clicks, and how often you use the scroll bar, scroll wheel, and all those stuff. And also we monitor what directory you're using, what directories you typically access, and we also monitor your network, what sites you're accessing, and what applications you generally use and stuff like that. And we'll be using a USB monitor, like whether you're plugging in some external devices into the computer for copy pasting stuff, and also uh, whether you're suddenly printing more documents. I mean, it is in red flag because you might print in confidential details and take them home, and also the registry monitor. So these are the events, like the typical data endpoints, which will be monitoring, and we will be using a statistical processor for real-time aggregation, and then data is sent to the server. Firstly, in level one, we'll be using basic ML models, okay? Because uh, this is a very resource, like the amount of resource used to be very less. So you'll be using for a baseline monitoring. So when anomaly is detected, let's say that you're logging in at 2 a.m. and while you're working hours from 8 to 6, and anomaly is detected, right? What will happen? Your anomaly will be flagged and it will get escalated to level 2. In level 2, we'll be using temporal analysis. We'll be using your data which was pre-collected for you, and we'll be analyzing it using quantum models to analyze your behavior. And we'll be using cross endpoint analysis to find a chain of event. And in the end of the day, if level 2 gets pinned, it will get escalated to level 3, where a complete AI forensic analysis will take place. Okay, so that's how the escalation matrix is. And then as an output, you'll have a dashboard and executive summary and stuff like that. Okay, so that's how it works. So this is the level one. So level one will include very less endpoints, around 5 to 10 endpoints, not much, because we should keep the amount of we should minimize the amount of resource uses used, but maximize the output. So baseline monitor will be using very less resources. So we'll be using statistical analysis and basic anomaly detection. And level 2 will be enhanced analysis, and level 3 will be AI powered fully forensic analysis. I'll just give you an example. Let's say that you generally work from 8 to 5, and your behavior is normal. You don't generally access any sensitive files, but suddenly you're logging in at 2 a.m. in the morning. So what will happen? It will trigger level 1 because that is an anomaly. Now level 2. Now it will analyze all your behavior, what you're doing. Like generally you don't access any sensitive files, or generally you don't download a large generally you don't download a lot of files. So now you suddenly downloading a lot of files, you're transferring huge amount of data. So level 2 gets triggered, and level 3, now a complete forensic screenshot of your behavior is under, like your actions are taken and is reported to the authorities. So that's exactly how smart three-level escalation works. And we are going for quantum inspired models because quantum inspired models can do parallel processing and do event correlation. Like if you're going for a traditional ML model, right? Like you'll be needing separate models for different events, like keyboard analysis will be separate, mouse analysis will be separate, network logs will be separate, everything will be separate. But quantum inspired models will be able to correlate all the event and understand and check if there's a pattern. That is the difference between a normal and a quantum inspired model, quantum inspired architecture. So these are the models you'll be using for your reference, and these are the data endpoints. And one more specific point would be depending upon your access, depending upon your seniority, the number of endpoints and the amount of resources invested on investigating will be higher. Okay. So that so for a junior person, it's basically 7 endpoints. So senior officer, it's 14. And if let's say you're a CEO, or let's say you're a colonel or a high level authority, more monitoring will take place. So it is very accurate compared to even existing behavioral analysis modules. So I'll just show you the dashboard. This is the quantum command center. So here you can see that, let's say the employee over here, John Mission, we can see the risk that there's some anomaly noted in his behavior. So we can see that we can compare it with his previous peer group and his behavior. And also we can analyze a timeline. And you can also see the reason why the data is flagged. So this is a dashboard basically. You can also analyze the productivity, and basically you'll have a complete overview about all your employees, what they do, and the reason they get flagged, and everything. So thank you. I hope this would reduce the number of internal threats significantly.